Hello?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So what I wanted to just discuss was basically let's try to understand the exam and what you know about it, right? So you are currently in 10th. Uh, you have probably heard of JEE, right? JEE mains
Yeah, I
and
have.
advanced. You have already gone to Ireland for a few for some time, right? 1 or 2 years,
Yeah,
right?
3 years.
3 years. So you were in like some pre-nurture or something, okay?
Yeah, so below ninth is pre-nurture, I think.
So you have been pre-nurtured and then nurtured as well. So now you are right about to like you're almost ready to bloom now. Correct.
Uh,
So good. So what is your understanding? Like JEE mains and advanced. First of all, why are you writing this exam? Why are you so excited?
they're engineering exams to get into like engineering colleges. So mains is like the first stage, and then if you qualify mains, you go to advanced.
Huh? So engineering exams fine, but do you want to do engineering?
I am interested in physics, chemistry, and maths
Correct,
primarily.
correct.
So
So
it's the
PCM. Actually, PCM, people who are interested in physics, chemistry, maths are supposed to do science. But in our country, the situation is a little sad that everyone who is good in science has to do engineering instead. They are not really the same thing, by the way.
yeah,
You understand? This engineering is a completely different thing, actually. And science and pure science is a completely different thing. So, for example, when I was your age, I was also interested in PCM and I was also good at it. So, I was like, I want to do science and all, but then there were no options. Like it's not like there are very good science colleges in the country.
for
Or
pure
where
science, you need bio. That's why I wasn't looking at pure science.
I mean, you don't need bio. You have options like ISI and CMI for maths and all. ISI you don't really ISI you can get into, but you also have like these IISER if you have heard of that. Indian Institute of Science Education and Research. This is
Uh,
you get admission to IISER directly through KVPY. If you are a KVPY fellow, KVPY is a government exam which is sponsorship offered to you if you are interested in pure science. So they want to encourage you to go to pure science. So I was also a KVPY fellow. I also got a scholarship from the government. I attended that camp also that they conduct. So my camp was in Calcutta, and there are many other camps. There are camps in Bangalore also, and there are many several other camps that happen, and they want you to join basically science, and they want you to go to these research institutes, which would be the ideal scenario for someone interested in physics, chemistry, maths. They should go and do research, and they should become PhDs, and they should do proper science, right? But
mm,
ultimately what happens is that you don't really know where you'll end up after that. Like these were very new when I was your age, but now they are sort of fairly well established. 10-15 years it has been. So it is an option. Like if you clear KVPY, you have a direct admission to IISER, right? Although KVPY is also not very easy to clear, but it's fine. On the other hand, PCM also gives you admission to engineering. Engineering in general is something that is not a thing that students in 10th grade would be exposed to, right? Like it's not like you know anything about engineering right now.
yeah,
Like it's not much, you don't know anything. Like you don't know enough to know whether you would like it or you would not like it. And that
yeah,
is
that's
the
true.
bad situation about our education, where when you have to make the decision you have zero information, right? Like you have to make the decision on what to take after 12th, but at 12th grade level any kid knows only one thing, whether he likes PCM or doesn't like PCM, right? He doesn't know anything about
Yeah,
engineering. So you're not in a good place to take that decision. Maybe you'll end up liking it, maybe you'll not end up liking it, but that is a future thing. uh, However, the best engineering colleges in the country are quite good and established in the 1960s and all, and those are the IITs. So IITs are very good, and they are quite good. So actually there are around 20 IITs. The five old IITs are the ones that
yeah.
IITians say are the real IITs. Like for me, like I distinguish between the 5 old and the 15 new, right? So I went to IIT Madras, and anybody who went to any of the 5 old IITs will only count these. Okay, so Madras, Kharagpur, Bombay, Kanpur, and Delhi. MB, KGP, Kanpur, and Delhi. These are the 5 IITs. And everything else that came after that is just like public pressure and all. They gave in to the demands and made so many IITs. That doesn't make them really good. It's just the name you're getting. Like
Yeah.
there are, I mean, actually, I'm being a little harsh on Roorkee and Guwahati, but I don't care about them so much, right? So Roorkee, Guwahati are probably better than the new ones. New ones are like there are many. I don't even know where they are. There are some in Mandi, Hyderabad. There is one in Gandhinagar, Patna. There are many new ones. Okay, nobody cares about them. Okay, so the real ones are these, and getting into here is an achievement. Is an achievement. Getting into these 5. This is like the Harvard, Stanford, MIT of India. Okay. So if you get into these, then you have done something nice. Because
But you
uh,
but you also have to look into like which course you want, right, for each college.
you have to look into it, but I would say to a strong extent, since you right now know zero things about any course, how will you make that decision? Right now, do you know what electrical engineering means?
No, but I've like heard of it. And you can take computer science also with
Uh-huh.
engineering.
Everyone has heard of it, dude. It's just that, do you know anything to make that call? Ki, oh, wait, I will like this. Rather, I will not
I
like
mean,
that.
I suppose if you like electricity and physics, then
Yeah, yeah, but
at least that's from the basic knowledge.
yeah, yeah, but that is a very like very surface level decision, right? Like it's not like very
Well
thought
thought out.
through. Yeah. So the problem is that I would suggest that if you are getting into KGP, Kanpur, Delhi, or Madras or Bombay, and if you're getting even a lower branch, that is better than getting CS at any other college in India.
What do you mean by lower branch?
Lower branch as in lower branch by ranking. There is nothing like lower than this or something. It's not like computer science is the best thing in the world and other things
Huh.
are lower than it. I did computer science, so I can say that that is definitely not true. But uh, lower branch by ranking. So like the top people always take computer science. So the way it works, at least in the last 10-15 years, is that 1 to 300 or 400 will get. Actually, in my year it was my IIT Madras computer science closed at 412. The last rank was 412, and IIT Kharagpur I think would have closed at around 550 or something. Computer
But
science.
not all the top 400 or 500 would take computer science, right?
No, not all the top, but
So
like
won't the rank be
ninety-five
pushed like
percent.
a bit?
95% would take it.
Oh, okay.
Like not all the top, some would take something else. Those few people who take something else are the more aware ones, like those who are aware of what they want in life. You understand? Like
Yes.
it's not like when I was 18 and then I was clearing this exam, I did not know anything about any other subject. So I only knew that okay, everyone takes CS. I had i had one or two neighbors, like one of my neighbors, next door neighbors, actually was he was JE rank 75 in 1999. My I gave the exam in 2007 and my rank was 347. And and he said that don't take computer science and come to IIT Kanpur. Don't take CS and come to IIT Kanpur. He was in CS in IIT Kanpur.
Why not though?
He said that to just to warn me of the consequences of that decision. He was like, don't ever take computer science and come to IIT Kanpur. It is too tough. You'll die. Like that. Don't take that and come to IIT Kanpur. Take something else or go to some other place. So I was getting CS. I was getting CS at Kanpur, Kharagpur, and Madras. And then I decided ki since there is a dire warning, don't go to Kanpur. So I decided to go to Madras instead. So that was my choice, and my choice was totally dictated by my rank and what other people were doing, and what my warning from my senior was. Right. So but it is not an informed decision, right? It was not an informed decision. And when I went to college after 2 3 years, I realized that wait, this is not for me, and I don't like this, and I actually
Computer
wanted to do.
science.
Many people will not like it. It
Huh.
can be quite overwhelming. First of all, computer science is quite difficult, and second thing is you have to have a natural interest towards it to be able to slog through it. Like there are times when all the computer science people were busy doing assignments and everyone else was chilling. like like in college it is very sad if you have to do assignments where other people are chilling.
Yeah.
So so computer science is hectic, very hectic. Especially Kanpur is even very tough. Madras was also quite tough, but not as compared to this. But it was very busy. Like we had no time at all. Like, and I didn't like it also so much. Like I was not passionate about it or anything. I realized that only after I went to IIT. So that
So
was a
you got
problem. Yes,
which other courses did you get, or was everything available?
everything is available. If you are getting CS, then everything else I could have get taken.
But you still took CS.
I mean, I didn't know, dude. My rank was good. So everyone at a good rank was taking CS for the last 10 years. So what to do, right?
Yeah.
So I could have taken anything that I wanted, and I should have taken physics. There was a physics course also in IIT Madras, which was very good. Engineering physics, it was called, but it was actually pure physics. You could branch out into physics, and I could have gotten other things I could have done, right? But I should have taken this, but I did not know well enough. Like,
Yeah.
but it's fine. The beauty about the whole thing in these five colleges is that, and that is why I say even if you take a lower branch, you should go to these colleges rather than taking CS and any other college. That is why I said ki don't take a branch. You are not choosing a branch, you are choosing the college that you're going to study in. Like you should technically choose the college first and then think about the branch and all, because right now you will not know whether 2 years down the line you will be able to manage that subject at all, like whether you like it or not, right? Like it is
Yeah.
highly possible that you might go. I mean, it has happened to many of my peers. Like you will go with an electrical engineering course, and 2 years down the line, you realize, "Ki I hate this. This is like really bad. I don't want to do it ever in my life." Right? So then ultimately what matters is what is the place that you're in, what is the group of friends that you have met, what are the things that you have learned along the way, other things that you have done in college. Those things matter more, and those that exposure that you get at the top college, that matters far more than whether your branch. Like because actually what happens right now in India, at least in all the top IITs, if you look at the top IITs, right, you will have like 60 to 70% of the student at least, and this is an underestimate if anything. 60 to 70% of the students will do things in life which have nothing to do with their degree. Okay.
But isn't that for other engineering colleges too?
No, other engineering colleges, you go to a lower engineering college, no, like India's lower colleges, like lower rated colleges, right?
Huh.
So so let's say some NIT, right, or some even lower colleges, like some private colleges, right?
Hmm.
Then whatever degree you have, right, directly you will get placed into a job with respect to that degree, because they will not hire you for anything else. Companies will not hire you for anything else. Anyway, they will pay you less for this because you are from a lower college, so you are not assumed to have good skills, and anyway they will pay you less, and they will never hire you for a different role. That is going to be super hard here.
Many
Like,
people take MBA also though, right? After like
so why do they
engineering.
take an MBA? They take an MBA because they have failed to utilize their engineering degree, right? Like they realize ki engineering was no waste of time, right?
Yeah.
Then they have to do something else and switch over careers, right?
Hmm.
So something like that happens fairly often. I mean, that is not the only reason why people do an MBA, but I'm just saying I'm yeah, like that is the common reason. Like because they don't want to do what they learned in engineering, right? Many
Yeah, I feel
IITians
like they don't
actually go
like
to
it.
many IITians. This is a popular combination, right? They Many IITians even write IIM the CAT exam in their final year, and they as soon as they get out of IIT, they get into IIM. So that is a common track. I know several friends of mine who have done that. That is a common track because if you are doing civil engineering in IIT, I'm sure you don't want to be building roads and all later. Like that's not your thing. You just ended up in that branch, right?
Yeah.
You want to do something on your own. Maybe business is something that you were meant to do, right? And here I'm talking very specifically about one particular friend. If he sees this video, and he will be quite mad. But anyway, okay, so this is quite common. Like, so what I want to say is that 60 to 70% of the people will end up doing something completely different. Okay, so something completely different. So that means that ultimately what matters is not the branch that you took or the course that you studied, but what matters is what you did with your time and what you learned inside that institute. Correct?
Yeah.
So the friends you make, the peers you meet, and what exposure you had, what was your plans, what were your opinions, and how you changed in your time in college. Obviously the person who goes in at 18 years old is not the same person who comes out at 22. Like there's a huge difference, and like it's like the formative years all over again for you as a person. So so because of all those other factors, like the best colleges in India are those five old IITs. Because again, why are they the best colleges? Not because they are like very, I mean, they have very good faculty and everything, all the resources are there, but it's not because of that. It's because of the peers, the group that is the student group.
Alumni network.
Alumni network and all is also good, but actually, like, it's not like I have taken advantage of the alumni network yet. Like, it's not like that is very obvious to me. What is clear to me is that the group of students that I was with, right? The group of students that you
Huh.
end up in college with, the seniors that you have, the juniors that you have, that network is the powerful network. So because those peers are also equally well qualified, equally talented kids, right?
Yeah.
So
So, like advantages in which respect? Like getting jobs or
getting jobs is not the only advantage, but just simply just knowing, like that, like five of my friends I know who are running companies of their own, right?
yeah,
So I am doing something in education, my friend is doing something in tech, one friend is doing something in defense. Like if I need something eventually, like something happens to me, something bad, and I have to switch out of this and I have to do something else in life, right?
yeah, you can always talk to them.
I'll just call up those guys and see what are you doing, I will join you, right? Like
Yeah,
if you have a network like that where everyone is doing something good and something independent and something nice, right? Then, like, obviously this is not everyone. 500 people graduated in my batch. I am sure only 10-15 people are doing something on their own, right? And something substantial, right? Or maybe a little more, maybe 40-50. The rest of the people are in typical jobs and all. They are in companies at some designation or something, right? But but still, this is a substantial number. If 10% of the crowd is doing something new, then you have access to that 10% network, right? You can talk to them. You can, like, that network is powerful
yeah, yes,
because all those people were equally talented. They also got into those IITs, and they are also going to do something good with their life. So it's good to know good people. You also improve as a person, right? You also learn things from your friends. So so that is what is great about the IITs, especially the old IITs. It's not about anything else. It's not about, oh, great facilities or anything. It's not something so tangible. It's about the peers, that the people who end up there, right? Obviously they are very good profs and all that is there. There are some bad profs also. So the situation is pretty much like anything, any place else. It's just that it's a good collection of people, right? So uh, the motivation for you as a person who is beginning his prep for JE should be, I want to end up in a great college. Like, I mean, that is according to me. End up in a great college. Uh, See, the motivation can be multiple ways, right? So, motivation is internal, motivation is sometimes external. This internal motivation can be, the example can be this one. I want to end up there. I want to be in IIT Madras, or I want to be in IIT Kanpur. I've seen the campus videos. I visited these IITs. I know how it looks. I know I love that feeling. I want to live in that place, right? And and make and begin my college there, right? So that can be a powerful motivation. The other motivation is, I want to be the best in my school right now. I want to be the best. I want to get a high rank, right? Correct.
Yeah, that
Get a
makes
high
sense.
rank in school or something like that automatically gives you like bragging rights and all.
Yeah,
Like that is also a motivation. So obviously it can be a mixture of both, but it is important to understand your own motivation. Like it is important to, before you do something like this, no, the IIT, getting into IIT is not a trivial task. It's like a 2.5 years almost right now for you, 2.5 years long marathon. Okay, like you have to work hard and efficiently for 2.5 years, and then finally in 2023, right, or 2022 May, you will give your exam, right? Which
2023, right?
for 2023 actually, I was right. So 2023 May, you will give your exam. So that is a long way off, right?
Yeah, it's
That is a long way
quite
off.
far away.
Yeah, and it is very hard for people to motivate themselves for targets that are way ahead in the future. Like if it was something next week, then you could probably pick yourself up and work hard, right? But if it is like 2.5 years ago, like it's fine. Like you'll feel like I can chill for a day, right?
Yeah, I
So,
I tend to like start doing other stuff instead of studying sometimes.
so but that is why I'm talking about this right now. This is super important. Like for me, it was like my neighbor got AIR 75, which is a huge deal in a small town. Like nobody had gotten a rank like that, like ever. In my town, nobody had gotten AIR 75, and he was my next door neighbor, and there were tales of that guy. And I was like, I have to beat that guy. Although I didn't, but that was the motivation. So I, I had to like get a decent rank, and I had to beat that guy. I didn't, but fine. Like that was a powerful motivation. Like I want to be better, right?
Yeah,
External. I didn't know much about IIT Madras, but I heard stories. Like so, I didn't know much, but I'd heard stories. Like it was powerful enough motivation to remind me ki that guy would not have been doing this. Like when you are slacking off, then you should get a reminder. Ki, okay, wait, your competition is not chilling. Your
yeah,
competition is working hard, and they will get ahead of you, and that will not be a good feeling when people are ahead of you, right? So so it is very important to understand yourself at an early age and figure out why you are doing what you're doing. Are you doing it for the, I want to beat everyone? Are you doing it for, I want to end up there? And make it clear to yourself why you're doing it. And because unless it is clear, no, you'll not have the enthusiasm to put in that much effort. It takes a lot of effort. We'll come to that now shortly. So uh this part is important. Okay, this part you have to understand. Don't worry about branch and on all of those news items. No, salary package of this and all of that is fake mostly. So salary package and all is not going to be it's not fake as such. Like it might be true for that particular case, but that is not the reality. All IITs don't get like that, right? So don't get motivated by the wrong things. Like you're
yes,
not getting to IIT to be rich. If you go to IIT with the hope that I'll become rich now, I'm an IITian and all, that is not the truth. Okay, so it's not like that. But the thing is, you'll meet a great set of people, and you will have a good time. College will be great. You will not have any pressures. Like anyone in a lower college, right? Anyone in a slightly lower college will have this immense pressure of, like, fourth year of their college, they will be worried about, will I get a job, will I get placed, will some company hire me, right? That
Yes.
is a huge thing, that is a huge stress in your life, which will not be there at all if you're in a top IIT. Like, anyone who is in a top IIT and has actually done some stuff in their 4 years, done some stuff means gotten a CGPA greater than 7.5. CGPA, or in some IITs it's called CPI. It's your grade, right? So if you have a CGPA greater than 7.5 or 8 or something like this, right? Then you are more or less assured, like, if you just sit for placements, you will get something. Some company will take you, even if you have not done something very remarkable in IIT, they will still take you on the faith that you are smart enough to figure out the job. Like, whatever is the job, you are smart enough to figure it out on your own, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that is the faith that they have in the institution, and because of the alumni that have been there for ages, that IITians generally will be smart enough to pick up whatever is needed, and when the time comes, they will deliver, right? So that is a huge thing. Like, that is like, I did not sit for placements in my IIT. Like, when placements were there, I did not sit for placements because there was no fear. There was no fear in the sense that, I will not get a job, then what will happen? I did whatever I wanted to do. Like, I joined something else, and I joined an NGO. I mean, that is not something recommended. I'm just saying you could do whatever you
Yes, sir.
want because you have that faith in yourself, right? So that is a huge deal. So getting into IIT assures you that at least if you do well reasonably in your college, then job security is not a problem. So that's
But
fine.
then the competition in the college is also quite high, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Getting
your
7.5,
performance might like your average performance might dip.
no, 7.58, getting a CG of 7.5 and 8 is not again easy, because many people have less than 7 and 6 and all. And these are all smart kids. In college, it is relative grading in IITs. Relative grading. So relative grading means out of
So that
100.
makes it harder, right? Because the competition's
Yeah,
also better.
that makes it way harder. Like, out of 100, an exam is out of 100, and if one kid got 91 and the second highest was 62 60, right, suppose, right, and
Yeah.
rest of the class is around, average is 55, right, average is 55 out of 100, one
Hmm.
kid got 91, one kid got 60, rest of the class is around this, the lower marks I don't care about. So generally what it is the grades are given on a basis of 0 to 10, right? So 10 out of 10 is a great grade. So this kid will get 10, this kid will get 9, average will get 8, lower people will get less. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's how it works.
So what the way it works is, like, there is a normal curve. You put all the marks on a standard distribution. There is a normal curve, standard distribution
Huh.
when you learn in statistics. So mean, your average marks will get 8, right?
But
This kid will get 10, this kid will get 8, 9, right?
then the difference is also like quite a lot between like 8 and 9. The
So
difference is
sometimes,
very less. 9 and 10, the
sometimes it
difference.
can even be, so I am giving this example for this. I made a mistake. This one will get 8 or something. This one will get 7 and all. Because
So
of
there's
this
no
kid,
9.
everything is ruined because of this kid.
So everything gets pushed back basically.
Basically because there is such a gap that
Huh.
this person gets 10 and everyone gets a lower grade because of his marks.
Huh.
So, and in IIT, definitely you'll encounter kids who are way smarter than you. So, I mean, it will happen that in some courses, what will happen is, even if you studied, some kid got like 20 marks more than you because he's just sharper. Like, you can't do anything. Okay. So
Hmm.
there are many cases like that where, like, in CS especially, because there are such smart kids in CS, like I used to work very hard and get average grades. Like, my CG was 8.06 or something. I used to get average grades after a lot of hard work, even though it was not like I was dumb or something, but there were just some kids who were like exceptionally smart, like just super smart. Like, they there was one kid who used to get 10. His CG was 9.94 or something over 4 years. Or like in one semester he got a 9.91, and every other semester he got 10. Like that is just unbelievable, because you understand that means like every semester, every
Yeah,
course he topped.
almost every exam.
Every semesters, every course he was the top. Like that's just like out of the world. Like, I mean, so
Yeah,
they
it's
will
very hard to
encounter
believe.
such people also. So so it is relative grading. So it is not easy to get 7.58 also. I mean, you have to work hard.
What's the average?
Average would be
Approximately.
around 7.57. Average IITN will have this much CG. So above average will be 8 and above. Very good will be 8.5 and above. And 9 point something is very, very good. Like 9 point something is great. So
Yeah.
so 7.5 is the typical average grade and all. 7.5. That will be in the normal IITN grade. In any department, this will be almost consistent across departments. Like some departments you get easier grades. Like I don't know examples, but electrical engineering and computer science definitely are tough. So you don't get easy grades in those departments. So other departments, it might be easier to get a 9 points. In computer science, it was super hard. Electrical engineering also, it will be super hard. So anyway, this is like stuff that is a little ahead in the future. Uh, but the idea is that getting into the top 5 IITs is good, and it is a worthy target to aim for. Like it is something that you can aspire towards, and it is not easy. So it how is it not easy? So for example, last year 10 lakh plus people gave the exam. 10 lakh plus people wrote JEE mains, and out of that around 1 lakh or 2 lakh people would have been qualified to write JEE advanced. And out of the 1 lakh people or so, I don't know the exact numbers, around 5,000, if your rank is around 5,000, you will get to the top 5 IITs. So ultimately you have to get an under 5,000 rank.
So is
If
that
you
what you should aim for?
so under 5,000 rank to get into the top 5 IITs. If you want to get a decent branch, like a thing that you could study potentially, right? You need to get an under 2,000, 3,000 rank, right? Under 2,000, 3,000 rank would be a reasonable branch, right? So anyway, getting into 5 IITs is itself quite a big deal. So let's just focus on this number. So you have less 5,000 out of 10 lakh, right?
Yeah, it's very small ratio.
It is 1 in 200, right? So like that is not easy at all. 1 in 200. Okay, so that is twice as hard, and actually more than twice as hard as Harvard. Harvard acceptance rate is around 6%, 5%, sometimes maybe 3% and all. This is 0.5%, almost 5 times as hard as Harvard or MIT. At least getting into is 5 times harder. Okay, so that is not an
Um,
easy target, right?
what about bits?
Pitt's Pilani is a good college, but I don't know too much about it. I know one person who studied at BITS. He's a good guy,
So you
but
need to write bitsat for that, right?
that is a separate exam. But
So they don't take your JEE score or anything.
they don't take your JEE scores. But actually, if someone is well prepared for JEE mains and JEE advanced, then they will be well prepared for BITS. It's the same syllabus, so it's the it's a different sort of a test. It's easier and fast. You have to be faster. Like there are more
And
questions, but it is easier. So if you are
and
well
this
prepared for this, it will automatically happen. So nobody prepares for BitSat separately.
there's only like one or two additional subjects like mental ability or English or something like that.
Those things are
But
not a
that you
problem
can
for
finish
most
very
people.
quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things are not a problem. The problem will be PCM only. Ultimately, if you're good in JEE mains and advanced stuff, then BitSat should happen automatically. So that is not an issue. So you will not prepare for it specifically. BITSAT is definitely one of the good BITS Pilani is one of the good colleges. So if you don't get into top 5 IITs, then BITS Pilani can be a good choice, or some top NITs could be a good choice, right? So those things are fine, but right now let's focus on this number. This is a difficult number, right? That is why you went to pre-nurture and nurture in Allen, right? That is why they start so early, class 9th, 10th, and all. Coaching institutes, they start so early because they feel like the earlier you start, the more your preparation is solidified at an early stage, and the more secure your chances are. Like, the chances of getting into the college is better if you start early. So I'm sure they would have done something, no? Physics, chemistry, maths, 11th and all, something they would have done.
They did 11th portions in 8th, I think, for us.
Okay.
Yeah, in 8th. And then 9th and 10th, they focused on 9th and 10th, but they went like a bit higher.
Okay.
But the crux of 11 they did in like 8th. But that was only for like a few kids.
Yeah.
The
So
rest they did in 9th
so
and 10th.
mostly nothing much they have done, basically. 11th and 12th, right? So in maths, have they done something? Maths, physics, chemistry. Maths, what have they done extra?
So wait, so basically 9th and 10th, they didn't do anything special for 11th and 12th.
Uh-huh.
But for 8th, they made us do the whole 11th syllabus.
Okay.
But no one really understood a lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah, obviously. So,
it
uh,
wasn't that, like, they tried it for like the first time or something, I think. So
so right now, do you remember anything, or do you know anything in 11th and 12th maths or anything? What do you know, basically?
not very well. And it's like been a long time since I was doing those because I've been like doing 9th and 10th only. I haven't been like focusing on 11th,
Okay.
the
So
topics.
it's almost like a fresh start then, right?
Yeah, almost. But I like know the topics and like a bit about it.
Okay. So yeah. So that's also okay. Uh, but you have to realize that, I mean, 2 years, and right now it is almost 2.5 years. 2.5 years is sufficient time to prepare. It's not like a is sufficient. It's not like it is less than enough. But
Huh,
you have to realize that there are some 9th and 10th kids in the country who are already ahead of you, right?
huh.
Like, there are some kids in your batch, in your 11 going into 11th right now, who have been doing this a little more seriously, or
I
who
know
have,
one or two friends.
yeah, who have focused on this a little more, so they are ahead of you right now, right?
Yeah,
So eventually you have to catch up to them, and you want to beat them. So the point is that the point is also that it is a competition, and it's not like you have to clear a particular marks and you'll get entry, right?
huh.
The competition aspect is there, where your rank depends on how well you do with respect to your peers, and therefore it is like you have to beat them, like you have to get higher, right? So then therefore it becomes super important to focus on, like, a general plan, that will help you navigate through these next 2.5 years, and what you will do that will make you different from others, right? So so you have to distinguish yourself in some way, or you have to do something differently, especially to beat these guys, right?
Huh.
You'll have to do some things differently, no, because they are studying for longer period of time. So, and they are also going to coaching classes, and you will also be going to some classes, right?
Yes.
And everyone will have a common set of material and all, common set of resources. Like, there is no dearth of resources and books in the market, right? And
Yeah.
everyone will have access to that, but they have more time than you, right? They have more time, common set of resources. uh, I'm guessing that I mean, the difference here could be the quality of the teachers that everyone has. Quality of teachers could be a differentiating factor, but let's not worry about that so much right now. What is also what is important here now is to realize that all of you are at a similar intellectual level. All of you are at similar mental aptitude or intellectual level, right? It's not like these guys are way smarter than you or something.
Yeah, they've just like covered more portions.
They
They
have just
focused
studied a
on,
little more. Like,
yeah.
they know more stuff. Knowledge is not the same thing as aptitude. Knowledge is not equal to aptitude. No, like it's not
Yeah,
IQ. Like knowledge is can be acquired. Like you can't do anything about being a genius, right?
yeah,
Like either you are or you aren't, and most likely both of us aren't, right?
yeah,
So uh it's not like any of these kids are geniuses and all, like unless you have met that 1 in 1 million types, right? So that is not going to be the likely set of situation. So what is happening is basically you have to create a competitive advantage for yourself, and the way you can do that is by having a very well thought out plan, very well thought out plan, and the ability to stick to the
yeah.
plan.
I think that's the more difficult part.
Yeah. So sticking to the plan is the most important thing here, and not not giving up in the middle, not feeling like okay, I should just relax for the next 2 days, it's fine. Like because other kids are not relaxing, so like
Huh.
anytime you while away is going to be time lost, and you are further behind in that race. So what we will do is we'll outline a general strategy, and we will see what things we need to focus on. So I'll just give you a brief summary. So for example, maths, physics, and chem. Okay, so maths, physics, and chem. Maths, for example, the way that I feel works best is, first most important thing is relying on a small set of standard textbooks. Standard textbooks. A small set. So a small set is important here, and standard textbooks are super important here. Like not this is not coaching material. Coaching material is not a replacement for a good book.
There's a few of these like
Uh,
these books full of questions like H.C. Varma and all for
uh,
physics.
Coaching material is definitely not a replacement for any good book. So good books that I will recommend are, for example, Higher Algebra by Hall and Knight, Higher Algebra, S.L. Loney for coordinate geometry and trigonometry, coordinate plus trigonometry. Then for calculus, there are a couple of books: Thomas and Finney, Thomas and Finney, calculus, calculus, and Joseph Edwards, Joseph Edwards, calculus. So Thomas and Finney is the more easier standard book. This is not a book that you need to buy, but I will use this at some stage. Uh, Add algebra is for algebra. This is for this. Yeah, there are a couple of other books also. There is IA Maron, calculus in one variable, calculus in one variable. I mean, I will tell you which ones to get. Right now, you should get these three.
Two, right?
I know there are three books here.
Oh, the separate books for
These are
coordinate.
separate books. Coordinate is one book, and trigonometry is one book. These are available anywhere. I mean, you search Amazon, you'll get it immediately. Higher Algebra by Hall and Knight. There is also one more Higher Algebra by Bernard and Child, but Hall and Knight is easier. You should get Hall and Knight. And S.L. Loney coordinate geometry and trigonometry. These are absolutely essential. Thomas and Finney and Joseph Edwards, I can send you the e-copy, and at some stage we will do it. However, what I want to focus on here is that once you have these textbooks, mastery of these textbooks, like once you are doing a particular chapter, you do it from that book. Once you have totally mastered that book, in the sense that you know everything in that chapter, you can solve every problem, then you are done. Like then you are done with that chapter. Then what we will do is practice. So like this is theory, like this is understanding. All of this section is useful for understanding, And for practice and getting faster and better and all, we will have lots of resources for
So the
practice.
books, they give you more like, are they more theoretical or more like question based?
These are theoretical mostly. SL Loni has a lot of questions as well. So SL Loni is serving a dual purpose. This is again theoretical. Theoretical. These are mostly theoretical books. So understanding is absolutely crucial. Like the JEE advanced exam, especially, is super tough. Like it's not easy at all. So I missed out on that analysis where I was saying 1.5 lakh students apply for JEE advanced, right? Out of that,
Yeah.
5,000 go to IITs, and top 5,000 go to the top 5 IITs. And JEE advanced you have to clear to get to the top 5 IITs. Right?
Huh.
You cannot get to IITs without advanced. So you can get to NITs and all with JEE mains. JEE mains is a comparatively easier exam.
Because
Okay,
advanced has like the multiple options you're correct for some questions, right?
multiple options are correct. The questions are tougher. Questions number is fewer, and questions are tougher.
Because when there's one question, like sometimes if you just know the answer and you're not sure of the other options, you can pick
Yeah, yeah.
one. But
And you will get wrong answers there when there are multiple corrects and all,
huh.
right? And there are comprehensions, there are subjectives, which numerical answers and all with no options basically, right? There are different types of questions, but the type of questions is not so daunting. The daunting effect is because of the difficulty level of the question. So they are checking whether you have like a very thorough grasp on the concepts and whether you can apply it in strange situations, right? They have come up with those questions are new every year, and they're making those questions to check certain aspects of your preparation, and it is not trivial. Like it's not at all easy. So
Also about that, in the JEE mains and
hmm,
advanced too,
hmm.
the questions they give, are they like like similar patterns or are they totally different? But like relating to
Mains
the
is very
concept.
similar. Mains is something, no question in mains will be something that you will not encounter in these standard places. Like
Okay.
all the mains questions that come will be from some standard, like it is a standard thing. Like if you have done your preparation diligently, then mains is not going to be a problem for you. Okay.
Huh.
So, but advanced, you will not find the questions very easily. Like obviously not the entire paper is new, but advanced, there is a strong chance that 30%, 40% of the paper you would not have seen before. Like you would have seen such questions before for 50, 60% of the paper, but it will, first of all, it will not be easy. Even if you have seen it, you have to still do it, right? It's not the
Yeah.
exact same thing. So that is the case, and the rest of the questions will be new. Like you will not have seen it. So you will have to apply your own understanding of the concepts there. So it is slightly harder, but uh, we will look at those things as we go along. But right now, what I want to emphasize is understanding from the books, practice from, we will be using all these coaching classes material and all. I have a lot of this material. We can use like Allen books, Fitji books, and so on, right? Whatever. So this is just practice. Allen Fitji. I have my own material also, some of it. So we will be using all of those resources for solving different problems and solving problems, and that is just an exercise so that new problems don't surprise you, don't shock you, right? It is not like
Yes.
you see a new problem and you're scared of it. Like after a point it should become like, I have seen, okay, this is a problem, and I'll approach it with a fresh perspective and I'll try it and let's see what happens, right? So that attitude is very important. The attitude where I'll try it and see it, and I'll try once more if it doesn't get solved once, right? Like the attitude of not giving up. Not giving up is a very important principle in your JE prep. Like many people will just at some stage they will give up in their heart. They will know that, okay, I can't do it, I can't, and they just resign themselves to that fact. If you do that, then obviously it will not happen, right? Like you have to keep trying. It will become hard at some stage, the preparation, but you have to keep persevering. The people who get into the top colleges are the ones who have not given up in the entire 2.5 years. They didn't give up. They kept trying, and eventually they reached their goal, right? So this practice element will emphasize that we will practice from sources which are difficult, sources which will be challenging, and we will learn to hone that instinct. That instinct, problem solving is something that I enjoy. Like problem solving should be something that you like doing, and it will become a habit where you like solving problems and you like trying new ones. And a difficult problem is met with a sense of anticipation and excitement. Okay, this looks difficult, and if I solve it, I'll feel good about myself, right? You
Yeah.
understand?
But so if you aren't able to solve problems, should you like try to solve them or like look for the solution?
Look for the solution is a last resort, right? Trying to solve them yourself and eventually figuring it out will give you much greater benefits.
But how much time should you devote? Because there's some questions which like
So
you just don't be able, like you can't, like you're not able to solve them.
yeah, so the time that you devote again depends on what stage of your preparation you are in. The answer to that question is it depends. Like if the exam is 1 month away, then don't do a lot of time, right? But
Huh.
if the exam is 2.5 years away, then spend as much time as you can, because spending as much time as you can will mean that you learn something new. When the solution comes, or when someone tells you finally, unless you have put in your sweat and effort, no, it is not going to stick in your memory. If you just read the solution, no, and 2 weeks later you will forget again, and again you will not be able to do it. That is what will happen, because you will be seeing so many problems. No, it's not like you can remember all of them. You get it?
Yes.
It is an infinite number of problems, so you cannot remember everything. So the only memorable instances in life are places where we struggle or some extreme joy has happened, right? Some struggle has there, right? Then you remember that incident. You don't remember you don't remember March 21st of last year, right? What you did.
Yeah.
But you might remember some important interesting event. Maybe you tried for 2 hours of something and you got it finally, and that will be a memorable event in your life, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the answer to your question is it depends on what stage your preparation is. Like if you're just starting out, it is good to expend as much effort as possible to solve problems, right? That is a good habit. Don't give up, don't look for solutions immediately. Ask your teacher eventually, but not like too soon, not like after 15 minutes of trying, right? But find the solutions at some stage, but like give your wholehearted effort, right? Also, but at a later stage things will change. The strategy will be key. We will not get stuck up on one particular problem. Don't get
Yeah.
obsessed
Yes, I
also
got
about
it.
one problem, right? Like it's not like that question is going to come in the exam. I mean, even if it comes, you can skip it, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not like you have to attempt every question. In JE Advanced, for example, 50%, 60% will give you a very good rank. If you get 50%, 60% of the total marks, you will get a very good rank.
So
Seven. Uh,
what is the time and like what is the ratio of time to questions?
there is 1 hour for 18 questions. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So there are two papers, 3 hours each. 3 hours, 3 hour. Paper one, paper two.
Oh, this is
Paper,
mains or advanced?
this is advanced. Paper one, paper two, and basically 3 hour paper will have PCM, and each such section has 18, 18, 18. So there are around 54 questions to do in 3 hours, right? And actually, you're not expected to do 18, obviously. This is advanced right now. So even if you get 10, 12 out of them, right? That's great. If you make no mistakes and get 10, 12 right, right? You will get a
Yeah.
very good rank in each section, I'm saying, right?
And what about the negative marking? Like, can you guess stuff?
No, there's no chance of guessing. Guessing is something that you should totally forget about.
Because like all these small Olympiads and the other ones, like guessing works out.
So
So what's the
all of
negative marking?
those are bad habits, dude. You should
Yeah, I
just
know.
get rid of all of that. Like don't guess. some basic rules of preparing for JEE is: don't guess, don't use some result that you cannot prove. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't use some fact. Someone told me, I saw this in a book. My friend suggested that this will work. Let's just use this. These are not good enough justifications for anything. Okay. The way to only things that you can use are things that you can prove. Okay. So if you follow these things, don't guess, don't take special cases, like don't try to game the system by taking some, like, okay, I will, oh, these two answers look similar, so they will answer will be among these two, so I'll select one of them, right? That is like just lame, right?
Yeah.
Like that
So
will not work.
how much of negative marking is there?
Every question has negative marking. Some are 4 minus 1, some are 4 minus 2. There are things like that. So every question has negative marking. And anyway, forget about negative marking. Who cares? Right now, you don't care about the exam itself, right?
Yeah.
Right now, you have to worry about how will you prepare. Like if you see the questions, you will realize that it's tough. Like you have to be able to solve them. You have to acquire the skill to solve them, right? So that is the challenge. Like even if someone tells you the answer, don't be satisfied with the answer. This is also one rule. Don't be satisfied with getting the answer. Like many times, what will happen when you do, especially physics, don't be satisfied with getting the answer. Like, why? Because what will happen is you will do a question, you will get an answer. Your first attempt will be wrong. You will look at the answer behind, and then you will realize what you need to do to get the answer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As soon as you see the answer, you'll realize, oh wait, I made a mistake. Maybe if I do this, now I'll get the answer. Yeah, I got the answer, right?
This is for preparation, right? During
Yeah,
preparation.
during preparation. Don't be satisfied with getting the answer. Getting the answer is not the point during preparation. The point during preparation is to get your understanding at a higher level, and like always ask basically why did this work, why did I not get it before, what mistakes did I make, right? Like the analysis of that answer, right, is far more important than actually that answer. So when you solve HCV and when we discuss that, you will realize all of these things. Like in HCV, many times when you attempt for the first time, no, you will not get the answer in the first attempt. When you look at the answers at the back, you will see that, oh wait, I know how he got the answer, and you can get the answer then. But it is not important. What is important was, can you think through it and can you realize the reason for it, right? So the reasons are far more important than the outcome. The outcome is going to take care of itself if your reasons are fine. You understand?
Yes,
Like
I got it.
like 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 no shortcuts. Basically, what I'm saying. It's very simple. No shortcuts, no compromises. Like no compromises in the sense ki don't fool yourself. Okay. Like it is very easy for, and it's a very easy thing to do, to just fool yourself into believing that, yeah, I got it. Why bother? Like I got the answer. No, so just I'll move on. Right?
Yeah.
Don't fool yourself, and there are no shortcuts. Anybody who claims that there is some easy way to get to IIT is fooling the other person. There's no shortcut. You have to understand everything, and you have to be able to do it yourself. Ultimately, no teacher also can help here, really. Ultimately, it's about your battle. It's your JE prep. Like I can only tell you what to do. I can only say this is better, do this now, do that now. I can plan out your strategy, right? Ultimately, it is you who have to do it, right? You have to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
Beyond the point. It's yourself.
yeah, it's ultimately totally on you. Like nobody can make you clear the exam. Like no amount of teaching or no amount of listening to good lectures or looking at great material is going to clear the exam. what is going to happen is ultimately it's about how much effort you put in and how much was in your memory ready to use on the day of the exam, right? So so that is very important. uh Maths will have those. So actually, I will not go into the detailed plan. I will send you the detailed plan for what how we'll go about the curriculum, because it will just extend the whole thing a long time. It will take a long
Okay.
time. So I'll just, the overview is that we will go in a sequence of chapters that makes logical sense. So in Allen and all, many times you will realize that you don't know something and that is being used in some chapter.
Yeah, it happens.
Like it will happen a lot in 11th standard when you join, if when people, your friends join Allen, no, so they, what they will do is they will do a section on calculus first, and they will give a list of some formulas to mug up.
Yeah, they gave us derivatives to do.
Derivatives and integrals they will ask you to mug up, and then they will start teaching you physics. And physics and all, they will go about pretending as if you know calculus. Like in physics you need calculus, okay? So
Huh.
they will teach everything pretending as if you know calculus, when all the student knows is a list of formulas that he has mugged up with zero understanding, right? So we will not do things like that. What we will do is we'll understand calculus in the beginning. We'll understand calculus, how those formulas are coming. Again, our basic principle in life in JE prep will be, we cannot use something that we cannot prove, right?
Prove like the actual mathematical proof.
Yeah, yeah. Actual mathematical proof, actual rigorous proof. So
Just like to base the idea behind that is to understand like what you're like the formulas, or
basically
isn't that what
the
it is?
idea behind this is ki you cannot write essays if you don't know the alphabet, right?
Yeah.
That is the idea. And in coaching classes, the way it is taught is flouting that idea. They're hoping that fine, you'll memorize for now, next year we'll teach you. But that just ruins everything. Like that ruins the basic feel for the subject that you will develop, right? Like in the sense that half the stuff is hidden. No, half the stuff is like magic for you. Like
Yeah.
like what is that? Like how will you learn the subject if you don't understand half the steps? Like, so that is not how we will study, right? And uh, we will focus on the proof. Once we know it something, once we know something completely, only then will we be able to use it as a result somewhere in the future, right? So we will do all our topics in a sequence that is logical, that makes sense, that builds up on one step on the other. Like first you learn this, then you learn this, and slowly it adds up, right?
Yeah.
I will share that plan with you. I'll send you the document with the plan and all, and the reference books also.
So
Uh,
the reference books you'll give in the plan, or will you tell
I'll
it now?
send you the reference book that you need to buy in that document itself,
Okay.
so that you can get. And some side things that I can remember. I don't have any major things that I have to share right now other than this, but it's important to not ignore chemistry. Like it is very easy for people to ignore chemistry, but chemistry is the easiest of the three subjects. Okay,
Yeah.
it's the easiest, and it's the most, the the easiest marks that you can get out of PCM, right? So one rule of thumb that you can have for yourself is that chemistry marks should always be higher than PNM. Even like in all tests, whatever tests you write, like you can opt for a test series or whatever, right? All the time your chemistry marks should be the top score out of your physics and maths. Physics
Mm.
and maths are far more interesting to study, like because there is problem solving, there is creativity. Chemistry sometimes can be a little boring because you have to memorize some things also, right?
Yeah.
But chemistry has its
Or
own internal logic. It has an amazing internal logic of its own, right? And ultimately, once you understand that, you will begin to love that subject as well. So, and from the perspective, from a more pragmatic perspective with respect to the exam, it is obvious that chemistry is the most scoring and the easiest thing that you can get, right? So that is something that you need to ensure. Many students ignore chemistry and their rank is ruined because of that. Because they might be talented, but they have spent far too much time on physics and maths and not done chemistry properly. And their marks in chemistry are just bringing down their rank by 1,000 marks,
Yeah.
1,000 ranks, right? Like at a slightly lower level, like 500 onwards ranks, right? 500 onwards AIR, what
Huh.
happens is every 2 marks or 3 marks will involve 100, 200 rank difference, or things like that, or 50 rank difference, right? Like
Yeah.
if
A
like
lot.
the cluster of people at the same marks are very high, right?
Yeah.
So every 2 3 marks counts. In the top ranks the cluster is not so dense, so so it's a little more distributed there, but here it matters. So chemistry marks will matter definitely. So you need to begin early for this, and you need to do it really well, like with a lot of enthusiasm that comes from the learning a subject for the first time, right? Like sort of you can sort of ignore everything that you have learned so far, like in the
Yeah.
sense that almost everything that is pre 10th standard in chemistry and physics especially is useless, like it's not really properly taught.
Yeah. A lot of it is like it's
Huh.
not even like actually correct.
It's not properly taught, it is incomplete, and it is mostly useless. Okay, so you can sort of literally think of yourself as learning physics and chemistry for the first time. Maths is correctly taught, there is no problem with the way maths is taught pre 10th. Like it might not be interesting, but everything that is taught pre 10th is going to be useful. Okay, but physics and chemistry is definitely like you are at a fresh start, like you are learning the subject for the first time in a logical way. Okay, so there is obviously a sense of curiosity that comes with that, right? Like you
Yeah.
are going to so we were
Like
going
learning
to
something new.
you are learning something new, and we are going to study it from very nice books, like very wonderful books, like for especially for chemistry. So it will be an interesting journey. So that should excite you, and that will be making that journey like bearable, right? It is very unbearable if you have to prepare for an exam for 2.5 years and you're constantly worried about marks, right? You understand, the outcome
Yeah.
should not dictate your day-to-day studies. The outcome in the sense that every day you cannot stress about, okay, I have to get this much rank, right? Like that is not going to help you study.
Yeah.
You have to worry about, ki, today what will I learn, today I will learn this chapter, let's see what is there in that, right? Like that should be the driving thing. Like I'm going to figure out a new subject and I'm learning this chapter and I'm going to progress and I'm going to know more and
Yeah.
more, right? So that should be the main focus right now, not on marks, not on the exam pattern, not on negative marking, not on anything other than actually the fundamentals of the subject and making it, understanding it, figuring it out. Correct.
Yeah.
So remember those things, and some of those points that I mentioned earlier, those are going to be crucial. We will meet again and we will start soon. So I will let you know the detailed plan and all. I will share that in a file by tomorrow,
Okay.
maybe tomorrow, and with the reference books and all. And you can get those books are classic books, on those are books that I have myself studied when I was studying. So it's not like I'm speaking without any experience, like I'm speaking literally from my own experience and from the experience of several other IITians that I have seen, my peers, people that I've taught. So it is all coming from a place where we have been there, like we have done
Yes.
that, right? So and the exam and the competition is the same, it's the same competition, it's the same syllabus. It's just that the number of people now writing the exam are more, right?
So the competition's higher.
Competition is higher in the sense that the numbers are higher. Ultimately the competition is still among the same 10,000, 15,000 serious people.
Huh.
Like actually The rest of the 10 lakh is just filling up the numbers, no? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like there are more than 10,000, 15,000 serious kids right now who are preparing. Like, serious kids, by serious kids, I mean people who are aware that they want to get into IIT and they have started now, or they are starting early, and people who are aware and their goal is clear in their mind, right?
Yeah.
There are many kids who will realize this in end of 11th, right? There are many kids who will realize it in their 12th grade. So those kids are filling up the numbers. They will be out of the race, right? So serious kids are those who are right now making a active conscious decision कि I need to get into IIT, and I'm willing to put in the effort. Obviously, serious kids are also those who are willing to put in the effort, right?
Yeah.
Like, many kids will want to go to IIT but they don't want to study, so that doesn't work, right? So it is very simple. So actually the number of people, it's not like such a big deal also. Like, it's not like everyone at your school cleared NTSC or all, no?
Huh,
Like,
we have to write NTS, you know.
but last year, for example, your senior year, right? People in your
Huh.
senior batch, 1 year senior, right? Not
Yeah.
everybody in your school clears NTSC, but
No, they
that
don't.
was not because only a few would have cleared it, but not because only those few were capable, that only those few were serious about that. Like,
Yeah,
eh,
I got it.
the exam is not a question of capability. It's not like those who don't get
Who
into
like put in
IITs.
effort for like completing like and getting a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
score.
So those who have not gone to IIT are not like, oh, these are incapable fellows. They are not like losers or anything. You understand?
Yeah.
They might be good at very good at other things, right? Or they just weren't aware of they didn't care about the exam, right? They don't care about IIT so much to put in that much effort. So you have to
They
keep
weren't
that
as
in mind. Yeah. So if you have decided to go on this path, then it's good to be aware of all of these things early and start preparing with that seriousness. And it will be exciting. It will be exciting in the sense that you will be learning subjects with a new perspective for the first time in your life. For the first time in your life, it will not be about memorization. Like, so
so the
far,
focus is on understanding, right?
understanding and problem solving. For the first time, you'll be applying things and not like mugging up is not the focus. Like, very
Yeah.
few set of results will give very powerful set of conclusions, and it will be about understanding and properly behaving like a problem solver or a scientist is supposed to be, like figuring it out the way people actually did and applying it in situations, new different situations, right? So it is an exciting thing to do. So it will be fun, and we will be doing it from the best sources possible, the best sources possible for the subjects, and it should be great fun. So that is the attitude that you have to have, and no shortcuts, no compromises. We will follow the right approach, and we'll follow the right set of books, and it's all about now the enthusiasm and energy that you put into the whole exercise, right?
Yes, sir.
And don't worry about the outcome so much. Like, it's not also not good to just keep stressing about the outcome. So don't worry about the outcome. If you follow the process, if you do, I mean, that sounds very arrogant, but if you do what I say, right, it will happen. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, that is the truth. If you do exactly as planned, as we plan, and you will obviously have inputs on that plan, and we can discuss why this plan and why not some other plan when we come to the plan. But ultimately we'll fix up a plan that this is our idea, this is how we'll prepare, and once that thing is fixed, we have to follow that religiously, and if we do that, it will happen. And it's as simple as that. So that is what the whole message is about, and let's begin soon, right?
Yes, sir. I
I'll
have a
send
few
you the
doubts also.
what doubts.
One is no, like just like so about the classes,
Mhm.
would you be giving notes like for the classes?
Classes will be recorded, so you can revisit the classes later. uh,
Oh,
I will not have any class specific notes, but Notes are for the student to make
to make
primarily,
for themselves, right?
or but you can watch the class as many times as you want, but it will be recorded.
Huh.
And notes will not be there, but I will obviously give assignments at the end of the class, like you have to do this, you have to be ready with this,
So
things like
should I
that.
make my own notes? Like,
No, you don't have to. You don't have to make the notes during class. You don't have to keep writing notes. That you don't need to do. What will happen is during class you should be paying attention, and if I'm prompting you to solve something or try something, then you try that, right?
so you're saying during the classes I should just solve, like pay attention and solve the questions.
Whatever I'm asking you to solve, you solve. But most of the time, it should be about paying attention, not worried about writing notes.
Because
Don't.
sometimes like there are important points which aren't written
So
in
that
like
I will
textbooks
say,
and
that this is important. This you should write down.
okay, yes, sir.
I will say when it is something that is not in the books, but mostly we'll be following such good books that the books will be sufficient. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll be not be following some Allen coaching books. Allen coaching books are collection of results. So
It's
that
just like more questions like
that is just a question book. It's not like a standard book. When I say standard book, I mean a book that you have to read multiple times. Like for example, HCV.
so do you
HCV
have
is
to
the
solve the questions multiple times or read the concepts multiple times?
you have to solve the questions at least once, and then when you try them the first time, all of them you will not be able to solve. So you'll have to
Huh.
try them again, right?
Yeah.
And you have to read the theory, especially in HCV. Multiple times you'll have to read the theory, because uh, you will realize much later when you are solving questions and all, no, that somewhere in the book there will be a sentence that explains something. Like it is not obvious on a first reading.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
It is not obvious. So 2 3 times, so for sure you'll have to read each chapter. So that will be obvious while doing problems. Okay? That will not be obvious. Like you don't have to immediately on when you want first read the chapter, read it again and again. No, don't not like that, right? You have to basically do the problems, and while doing the problems, you'll have to refer back to the theory, right? And
Yes, I
that will be the
understood.
process by which you will reread it. Similarly, SL Noni, for example, there is enough information in that book to clear JEE Advanced. It's just that people never solve that book because it's quite hard. Like everybody in the country who's preparing for JEE, knows that SL Noni is a good book for coordinate and trigonometry, but very few people actually solve it. Like literally, I don't know many people who solve actually SL Noni, like who fully solve SL Noni, right? If you fully solve SL Noni, for example, for trig and coordinate, right? Like there is no chance that there will be a JEE question, JEE advanced, that will stump you. Like there's literally no chance.
Yes, sir.
Like those books are tougher, okay? So they are slightly higher standard than JEE advanced. So like your ability to solve SL will automatically mean that you'll be able to solve. So there are some books that we'll be using which will be like that, which will be quite tough, and solving it will mean that you are ready, right? Correct. But on the other
Yeah.
hand, there are some books which are theoretical. So I will not. So there is another book that we'll be using for chemistry, for example, McMurray and Fay. So that is a theoretical book, chemistry. It explains the concepts in a very beautiful way. Like it is a joy to read. Okay. So that book is, however, not for JEE. Like it's not like preparing you for JEE. It's preparing you to understand chemistry, right? So we'll be
Yes, sir.
using that book to get the concepts right, but we'll be using other sources to get a set of practice of problems and all later, right? So it will be subject dependent, chapter dependent, and that is why you probably need a mentor, right? Because if you try to do all of this on your own, because you don't know anything, you will make missteps, or you will do something which was not necessary, or you will spend too much time on something, right? So that is what my job is, to make sure that your path is streamlined and you're able to efficiently use your time, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have to trust me on that, and you have to ensure that you follow the directions on the common plan that we figure out, right?
Okay. And also how much time per day would like we
So
need to put in?
if it's a school day, like school, you will be coming back by, say, let's say 3:30, let's say,
Yeah.
right? 3:30 if you're coming back. So then you have not a lot of time, but you'll have to put in the 5-6 hours on a school day for sure. 6 hours to for sure you'll have to put in, even on a
On
school day.
school day.
uh, so you can count it. If you come back at 3:30, you'll be free by, you can get ready by 5-6. You'll have to study 5 to 11 or something. Like, it might seem daunting and all. You'll have to take a break in the middle, but 6 hours on a school day, okay, that is, I mean, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, right?
And on a holiday,
On a holiday, 9 to 10 hours.
because I was just like wondering where
Huh.
like your own enjoyment and things like that come in.
Own enjoyment and all will come on the weekends, like when you have time apart from the 9 to 10 hours, right?
Yeah.
I mean, see, obviously you'll have to sacrifice some certain things. Like, you cannot do the same things that you did in 10th grade, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I will tell you examples from my preparation. So my preparation, every day I used to play cricket. Every day I used to play cricket with my brother when I was preparing for JE. I was in 11th and all, but it was a set thing. Like, I would play cricket for 1 hour, but after that the rest of the time was for my prep, right?
Huh.
So whatever is your set thing, whatever is the thing that drives you or keeps you motivated and all, you do your thing. It's not like you have to stop living your life, right? But but remember that other than those few activities that you can earmark for yourself, that you need to do, right, otherwise you will go insane or something, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, it's all about the exam. Then it's all about your physics, chemistry, and maths.
So basically, these 2 years is like mainly devoted to this.
Yeah, nothing else. Like, school marks, school exams, school tests, school plays, school dramas and all doesn't matter. Like, ignore all of it.
Also, relating to that, how much about NCRT is important?
NCRT is not a great book. So NCRT is a very weird book. So I
It's not
don't
well
like.
written.
It's not at all well written. It is very condensed. It's like very stupidly organized also some places. uh, so NCRT, I don't recommend you spending any time on it. What I will do is, what I will do say is, before JE mains you should read NCRT. Like, 2 months before JE mains you should read NCRT properly. But rest of the time you are going to be reading from proper books, right? So NCRT is for your school exams, school boards, school marks and all. So before your school exams, obviously you'll have to read NCRT. But other than that, zero time I expect you to put on NCRT. Like like we are not going to bother about it. We are going to bother about it only right before JE and all. Because
Yes.
at that time they will ask, JE mains will ask from NCRT. So I mean, it is quite easy. So you don't need
Yeah.
to worry about it. If you have put in your effort in the intervening 2 years, the NCRT questions will not be a problem ever. Okay. So that is again something that is not worrisome.
Yes. Also, about the books that you give, like the reference books,
Yeah, yeah.
do you need any other books? Because I was speaking to a few people and they've also suggested some books. So
Sangage
if
and all.
some, huh?
What have they suggested?
I don't have all the names right now, but like there's one for chemistry, suppose like there's one book for physical, one for organic, one
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
inorganic.
So who are these
So
other people? They are students.
one is Kanishk. I spoke
Okay,
to
okay.
him.
Kanishk suggested some books, huh? Physical, what
Yeah,
did he
I
say?
asked him, so he
Narendra
suggested.
Avasthi.
I don't remember exactly. Right, I have written it down somewhere. I'll just check.
Yeah, yeah. Check it. Kanishk suggested some books for physical and organic and all.
I
Organic,
can
what?
send you the list. He suggested for
Uh,
physics, math, and chem.
Tell me, send me the list. I'm also curious what Kanishk has
Huh,
suggested.
okay. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. But if I mean, we'll discuss that. Like, there is some common set of books that he will suggest.
Huh,
Obviously,
yeah, some of them are common, like HCV and
obviously, yeah. Uh, so we'll discuss. There are some books that will come in at a later stage, but right now you don't need to worry. Okay, right now The basic books are, you are just starting out, right? The situation
Yes.
will be different when 11th is over and 12th is starting, right? Like when you know many things, right?
Hmm.
Then we will get some more books and we'll do some more things. So you don't need to get everything all at once and worry about doing so many books.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can
And
send me the suggestions and all that he has given. I
huh,
probably already know the names, but yeah. JDL for inorganic,
he said JD, I think.
because I said JDL to him, but he didn't read fully. Yeah, it's fine. But he read enough. By the end, he had read JDL of his exam. Yeah,
So, do you take physics, chemistry, and maths?
yeah, yeah. For him, I was taking only physics and maths
Okay. Yes, sir.
because that time I was just starting out, so I didn't want to burden myself with chemistry.
Huh.
But now I'm teaching everything, so we'll discuss everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And one last thing, when do I start studying for JE? Like, cause board exams have been pushed. So,
So yeah, so I will just confirm on that. Like probably Om will also be joining.
huh.
I was teaching him last year for Math Olympiad and things and all. So
I know.
probably he will also be joining. So we will just work on a common time frame that we can start. Should start soon. So I think your parents were saying sometime in Feb after your NTSC and all, right?
Yeah, we
So
have school exams also in Feb.
so accordingly we'll decide when to begin. But
Okay, yes.
right now
But
it's
somewhere in between, right?
somewhere in between. Sometime in Feb we should begin.
Okay,
It
yes.
depends on the exams and all and whatnot, right? So something like that. Just send me the list and all that you got, and I will anyway send you the detailed plan and all by tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, yes. I'll ask him today and send you by
Yeah.
tomorrow or something.
Ask him today.
I'll ask him today, but I'm not sure when he'll respond. So,
Ask him whom? Kanishk.
yeah, Kanish, for the list, right, of the
I
books.
thought he already sent. Oh,
He sent, but I'm not too sure of some of the names. So,
okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, fine. It's not
I
some.
mean, some of them I hadn't heard of. So, whatever I
Yeah, yeah,
understood,
you
I wrote.
don't need to worry about it. I already know I have hundreds of books, dude. Still,
Huh.
everything that is possibly something that he would have suggested, I have. So it's not like you can do all of them, right? So we will have
Yeah.
to pick and choose the right things to focus on. So,
Yes, sir.
and not everybody's preparation is the same. So Kanishk was very good in chemistry,
He said
but
he wasn't that great in maths.
yeah, so he was not that great in maths. That's because he started very late and he didn't do the things that I wanted him to do. Like we started together only in April, May of his 12th.
That's quite late.
Yeah. So I mean, he was in Allen. He was doing well in Allen, but his math was weak comparatively because he had not done, for example, SL only. He had not done
Yeah.
SL only. He had not done some of these things. Like so, his basics were like okay, but not like solid enough. Like because sometimes the questions in JE are quite hard, and last few years maths questions have been quite hard. So if you are already feeling a little less confident in maths, then you will not have the courage to do them. You understand? So it's about actually that attitude that you have about the subject. Once you have that feeling that I can crack any question, I will be able to try it and figure it out, right? If
Yes.
that confidence is low, no, then nothing will happen. Like it's all about that mental state. Like you are willing to embrace that challenge, right? Then it works. Then you will solve it. But if you are already feeling a little like, oh, maybe I'll not be able to do this one, this seems scary, then it will not happen. So for him, maths was a little like that. So anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, I'll send you the details. Yeah, and we'll begin soon, possibly in Feb.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all for now then.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.